Today, we are going to Dallas Cowboys training camp. We're going to review the practice and compare it to Chargers training camp, talk about everything I saw player-wise, and I will also be accomplishing a brand deal for our TikTok page and showing you the behind the scenes of what makes our content go so viral. Hopefully, I can inspire some of you guys to just start making videos in the first place. But most importantly, we're all just trying to have some fun here. First, we got to make sure we get all of our equipment, and yes, I did take my Cowboys hat to practice. Was I wearing that backwards the whole time?
It's backwards.
Yeehaw! We're packing up and getting ready to go to Cowboys training camp, and I figured I would just take a second to one, test my microphone out to make sure that it's working, and two, talk a little bit about equipment that you might need to be a content creator in the NFL space. And really, all you need is the phone. All this stuff, like microphones and all that, it's all extra. But it does help to get high quality content, and quality does matter in the content game, especially short content. When your videos land on someone's screen, the worst thing is when people immediately swipe because they got a grainy image, because they got bad audio, because it's too loud or too quiet. I have learned this over years of failing and years of flopping videos, and I'm telling you this so that way you don't have to worry about it. Even if you just have your phone microphone, use a headphone microphone. Your Apple AirPods will improve the quality of your audio. Also, the phone microphones are sneaky good. If you have two phones, you could use your friend's phone as the mic, you could use your phone as the video, and then you could combine them in post-edit, and you'll have very clean audio by just holding someone's phone mic up to someone's mouth. Super simple stuff. As far as cameras and stuff, I do have the Insta360 Spy Cam Go. As far as mics go, when I'm going on the road, I have the Shure MB3, I think. I don't know the exact microphone I use at home, but the ones that I take on the road with me that are so good that will even work at home for you, and I use these at home for like a year and a half for my TikToks, is the Mini Rode Wireless Goes. Those microphones are, I think, $200. They're worth every single penny if you're trying to make content full time, because you can clip these mics to you and record everywhere and get audio as if you're using a professional microphone right up to your mic. And it's so small, so portable, they fit in your pocket. This is unsponsored. I just love these things. I'm using it right now for this video. Under this cover is the microphone that I'm talking about. So that's kind of the equipment that we bring each time we go to camp. Nothing else too crazy, just the phone, a few microphones, and the spy cameras just joined the team this year. So before, we didn't even have that. After we're all packed up for camp, got everything triple checked. Trust me, I forget things all the time. We gotta get the dogs to the dog sitter, and we gotta get our arses to the hotel and get our arses to training camp. Headed to the hotel. Cowboys training camp is tomorrow, and we're just gonna be getting ready to make those videos. But something fun that we do have to do for a branded video, we have to go check out Old Town Camarillo. That's where we're staying here. Okay, here's the room for the hotel. Like I said, we work with this brand, so that way we don't ever have to pay for a hotel room anywhere we go. But also, because they're super good sponsors. I've worked with them now for 3 years in a row. It's the Snesta brand, overarching, but specifically the hotel here in Camarillo next to the Dallas Cowboys training camp, if you guys are Cowboys fans and ever coming to that. And the one in El Segundo, for my Chargers fans. These hotel rooms are nice. And for the one in El Segundo, they'll give you a discount. Got a little balcony and everything if you want to hang out there. Edit some videos, possibly. I have OCD, I know this. I don't fight it. I actually use it to my advantage, and I come way overprepared with way too many video ideas. Almost scatterbrained to a point. Maybe you should temper that a little bit. But that way, I feel going into it, there's no way I can possibly do any better than I'm gonna do. Just try and have fun, and I really focus on that and make the best videos that I can in the moment. And that's what we're gonna do tomorrow. I have some ideas for tomorrow's content I want to share beforehand and see if I can predict some more viral videos like the Chargers videos that we try and do the same thing here. So the big thing for the Cowboys is we're cashing in on the news that's broke lately. We already have a Micah Parsons video, 2 Micah Parsons videos that went viral. One that went for like over 500,000 views about Micah Parsons from a few years ago at training camp, but I reposted around training camp every year because it works again. George Pickens, Micah Parsons, anything about those guys is gonna go crazy. I'm not trying to be a genius here. There's plenty of football geniuses in the world. There's plenty of people that know everything about the X's and O's out there in the world. Trust me, I could sit here and talk X's and O's with you. I played the sport for 10 years. I went overseas and played pro football. I could do it. I could there's film breakdowns actually here on the internet of me just sitting there talking talking about film. So that's kind of the plans. I'm thinking like we either put CD and Pickens against each other in like a competition, who can have more catches, who can have more touchdowns. Really, I will change the idea of the video based off what happens at the practice. The other thing I really want to focus on is I'm a big hype man for Joe Milton. I know the Joe Milton hype is out there and it's going as crazy as ever now that he is a Dallas Cowboy. So I want to make some kind of Joe Milton video. So yeah, that's what we're thinking here tonight before we head to Cowboys training camp. Next time I check in with you, we'll probably be heading to the camp or be in the parking lot. Once we were motivated and caffeinated, we got to camp. And warning, Cowboys fans, that thing was busy. There was a line out the parking lot to find parking. So if you're going to go to Cowboys training camp, probably any NFL event that you attend that is free to attend, you should get there hours early. Another thing, at a lot of these events, it is cash only parking. And then finally, we got there and practice was still 2 hours away. We're here. We get here hours early to this kind of stuff. So we can walk around, get some shots. We're also checking out like the different views here. You see there's the fields behind us, but make sure you get to the event early. Make sure you get everything done if you're a content creator or a fan, honestly, and you just want to check stuff out before you get there like this. So I started to explore the entire facility. They did add some new stuff to the facility, revamped a lot of things. It looks the same. The one thing I will say about Cowboys camp compared to Rams and Chargers camp is that it is substantially bigger. There's a lot more space for fans to spread out. You're not shoulder to shoulder with everyone, although I do like hanging out with all my Chargers fans. It's a beautiful facility, and I see why Jerry re-upped for 5 more years right there in front of me in the opening ceremony, and that's what started off practice. Jerry was up on the mic talking about how they're staying in Oxnard for 5 more years, and then Cowboys fans started chanting over him, "We want Micah. Please sign Micah."
Cowboys fans won't let Jerry talk.
Micah, 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 Micah. And Jerry couldn't hardly get a word out. I even made a TikTok about this. I saw this going down in the moment. You guys heard me talking about how I knew that I was going to get a chance to cash in on the Micah Parsons drama. And that really is the key to short form content, is that there's a perfect destination. There's a perfect alignment, right, of what you like, which is what you enjoyed posting about, which me is like football drama, I guess you would say. What the viewer likes, which is what you guys want, which is to learn about football because you all have full-time jobs to do what you do. And what I do is make sure that you can still be a fan of the entire NFL while you do what you do. And you don't have to take a break. You could get caught up on a very deep story in 60 seconds on my channel. Well, you can get caught up that the fans are chanting at Jerry Jones very quickly on my channel. And then the final star that needs to align in that is the NFL news, is the buzz, is the drama, what's going on in the algorithm, is the search engine optimization part of this, which is the fact that Micah Parsons is in a contract dispute, has been in a contract dispute for multiple years, and it's hitting ahead. They have to sign him now. It's just how much is it going to be worth? Even all the fans around me in the crowd were saying they have to sign him now. So when the fans start chanting Micah over Jerry Jones, I not only join in on the chant to make it louder, I get my phone out and I record it, and it turns into 20,000 views on TikTok, tens of thousands of views on Instagram. This was like a curtain situation with Jim Harbaugh last week. I was there for the curtain stuff and didn't post about it, shockingly enough. And then also right before practice started, we went around the VIP area, checked it out really quick. I will say that I am very appreciative for getting the free food. I'm very appreciative for getting the access. It was really cool to check out the NFL Network setup there that they had for their broadcast about Back Together Weekend and about the Cowboys practice that was about to go down. So that was super sick just to see all the cameras, see the whole entire set. But then we had to get back to the grandstands because that thing was filling up quick, like I said. Unlike last year, I guess it was kind of the opening days for the Cowboys, and I went maybe in the middle of the practices, in the middle of the month of August last year. But I will say last year, that bitch was empty. There was hardly anyone at practice to go and watch the Cowboys practice. This year, the buzz is there, apparently. Completely full. No space available. Standing room only by the time it got started. And I guess it's a good thing for Cowboys fans. The hype is back. But just as I was like, maybe the Cowboys are onto something here with at least the vibes in this place, the practice started. And hey, I know Brian Schottenheimer's a first-time head coach. This is his first team that he's had full control over like this. And I will give him some credit. He has set up a lot of competition across this roster, across this depth chart that Mike McCarthy seemed kind of lethargic at in the last couple of years of going to Cowboys training camp. He would even just hang out in the top in the box at a certain point, not even participate in the entire practice. And this competition definitely brought a different energy to Cowboys camp than I'm used to experiencing when I get there. And maybe that energy is going to be some juice, especially early on in the year for them boys. I will will also say Dak Prescott was extremely sharp, and I think Joe Milton is pushing this guy to play at his best. I know that we're going to make the anti-Dak and pro-Joe Milton video, and I'm going to talk more about how that video went viral at the end, but Dak was on point. I think he had one bad throw or two bad throws the entire practice. Joe Milton was very good as well. He started slow at the beginning of team practice, and I was like, oh no, my propaganda video is ruined. I was going to flip it actually and say that Dak is being pushed by Joe Milton or motivated by Joe Milton, but Dak didn't have any crazy highlights either. He was just consistently good, hitting all of his targets, getting 10-yard chunks at a time. Milton, in the second half of practice, started bombing the ball down the field, hit his running back up the sideline, threw a touchdown to his tight end over the middle. Joe Milton started to cook in the second half of the practice, where you go, oh my God, what is better to have? That consistent quarterback that's going to march you down the field, or that guy that can score the touchdown on any given play, even though he's a little bit wild with the arm in other situations. I personally think Dak Prescott is still the QB1 of the Cowboys, and it's not even close still, but I do think that this is one practice for one that I saw. And two, anything can happen as we get into the season. If the Cowboys struggle at all, they got someone to turn the switch to. If Dak gets hurt, God forbid, we don't want that to happen, they got someone to go to. This is not somebody that has no potential as a backup quarterback like we're used to seeing when you trade for a backup quarterback. No, this guy has potential to be a franchise quarterback, and I really believe that leaving this practice. Now let's talk about Dak's wide receivers, and this is where things are a little bit interesting for me as I'm watching. If George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb can have a healthy competition for targets, a healthy competition to get open, a healthy competition to get the ball, it can work out in theory, and Dak can put up some crazy numbers, and the Cowboys can have an insane passing offense next year. But they didn't target George Pickens the entire practice until the last drive. Then they threw him 3 straight passes, almost like he already was getting upset that he's not getting thrown the ball. The part that bothers me is that this is practice, and Dak should be looking for George more than CeeDee. He threw it to CeeDee 10 times. He threw it to CeeDee almost every play. I don't think CeeDee and Dak need the reps like Dak and Pickens need the reps. Just an observation. To continue on the positive note before I really start to dig in here on Brian Schottenheimer's practice, that triple threat match for the running back position is exciting. Javonte Williams looked like he had a lot of juice. He looks healthy. Miles Sanders looks like the most complete back, but Jadon Blue, man, he made a phenomenal catch, and he just looks electric out there when he's running drills. He's in the mix there, running through the gaps and running through the holes of the Cowboys offensive line. I think that we're going to see Miles Sanders start off the season as the RB1, although I will say Javonte Williams right now is taking the RB1 reps at practice for the most part. But I do think Jadon Blue is going to get a lot of passing down work if he can be an upgrade from Javonte Williams in pass pro. That's where I think Miles Sanders is going to excel as we get into the season. The other thing that I would like to highlight on the defensive side of the ball, with Micah out because of the holdout, fighting for his contract. Trayvon Diggs is out rehabbing, trying to come back from an injury. Ricardo Bland is out, trying to come back from an injury. When you watch this Cowboys secondary, linebacker core, defensive line, they are all young, they are all hungry, and they are all fighting for starting spots this year. You got veterans like Malik Hooker still in this secondary, but they're definitely on the tail ends of their career. And all these young guys have an opportunity to shine as a cornerback 2 or cornerback 1 for the Cowboys this year. All these guys have a chance to shine in the middle of that Cowboys defense, which has been an iconic spot for linebackers throughout history. There is a lot of opportunity on defense for young guys to break out and earn millions of dollars, and you could tell that they want it. A lot of those guys want it. Deuce Vaughn and Kevontae Turpin are even competing for the team's best small guy. The part that kind of baffles me a little bit as even a fan, when you go to a Harbaugh practice, when you go to a Sean McVay practice, even to the Arizona Cardinal practice I went to, it's like a boot camp. Everything is very organized. Everything is well put together. Every player is locked in on what's happening in front of them. And when you watch this practice, it's chaotic from start to finish. First of all, the team had a break before practice even started, like a little walkthrough. They were not matching. They weren't even all wearing Cowboys gear. Never will see that at a Harbaugh practice. Then practice starts, and while the second strings are up, while Joe Milton is trying to take Dak's job, Dak was dancing half the practice behind him, literally dancing to the blaring music that they could hear playing over the speaker. And it is dead silent. I mean, listen to it.
Oh yeah, QJ! Oh yeah, QJ!
The Cowboys third stringers had a whole separate practice after practice because they didn't get a single rep. What is all the chaos that they had throughout the practice? They would just have random times where everyone just started running around different directions doing crazy shit. Now, I do think that they could still be a solid team. They can be as good as Dak Prescott's gonna be because like I said, Dak was almost perfect in this practice. They've got a lot of young guys on defense that gotta step up and have major breakouts. Probably one at every single position if they want this defense to be really good. The offensive line, again, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. But the running back position is still a huge question mark, even though I enjoy this competition. And we'll be drafting all three of these guys in fantasy football. It just seems the organization is not where it was with Mike McCarthy, and I'm comparing and contrasting this to last year, the year before that, the year before that. It ain't like I just been there once or twice. Comparing this to a Harbaugh practice, I'm looking at my wife. My wife is even looking at me like, what is going on here? So Cowboys fans, maybe I'm dead wrong. That's why I'm a Chargers fan, and you guys are Cowboys fans. But I'm telling you, the Cowboys might have a rough year. Team that might have a lot of fun this season, or team that might not have the leadership that we've seen in the past with the Cowboys. Offensive line, Mike McCarthy kind of leading the helm. But hey, maybe they're just having more fun, and it's going to go completely fine for them boys and their offensive line and their head coach and George Pickens, who, by the way, George Pickens did not have a target in practice until the last drive. And they gave him 5 targets in a row and then called practice. It's not his style. Just saying. Now let's talk about the videos and how they did. We made that Jerry Jones video I was telling you about where they're chanting about Micah Parsons getting him the contract. Man, that did great. Then the prime rib of content for this was that Joe Milton video that I kept referencing. I did execute that and it did work. Just to show how crazy viral these videos can go, when I started recording this, the video was at 392,000 views and I'd only let it sit overnight. So it hadn't even been a full 24 hours yet. And I challenge the viewers to go back to the Joe Milton versus Dak Prescott video on my TikTok page, on my Instagram page, on my YouTube channel, or on my Twitter, or go to my Facebook, go to any platform that you want, and tell me how many views it has combined, right? I think on just TikTok, this video is going close to 1 million. Just like the Quentin Johnston video that we premeditated in last week's vlog. I'm just gonna go completely the other direction, and I'm gonna put in the text hook like, oh, you guys don't think this guy can catch? So that's kind of like the psychology that goes behind it. Now here we are, predicting this Joe Milton hype train video to go freaking bananas, to the moon viral. Cherry on top is that there's this Cowboy fan who has a house, literally, with his backyard patio facing the training camp. So his backyard is Cowboys training camp. And every year I go, take a little video of this guy standing on his balcony, and especially if he is out there standing on his balcony like he was this time, and I post it up and I say, is this the modern day King's Throne? Like, is this the best place on earth for a Cowboys fan? Is this the dream home for a Cowboys fan? That one's at 80,000 views right now as well. That one's gonna go over 100,000, so go check the views on that one. It just goes to show that this is not luck. I am not going off on social media by chance. I am thinking about these things, and you can do it too. How valuable that content would be one day if you stick to it for a few years. I make anywhere from $1 to $5 per 1,000 views on just TikTok. How much for 2 training camps to go and watch practice? I'll let you guys do the math yourself. I'm not just gonna straight up say it. I obviously know the exact number. We're going to 5+ Chargers games this year, multiple road games. We're going to Tennessee. We're going to Jacksonville. How would you do as an NFL content creator? And how will the Dallas Cowboys do in 2025? I guess sooner rather than later. The ball definitely won't lie. So the Joe Milton video that we planned out, that I was talking about in the video, look at the views that it's at right now. And it's been, what, like 2 months since we had a 1 million view video? We had one go for 950 like last week. Look at that, 998.9. And we're close enough to where when I refresh the page, it is going to go to 1 million. So I want to capture this live, or capture this in recording. We haven't been recording this kind of stuff ever throughout my entire time. So here it is. Look, this is, everyone can feel it together. Success as a group. Boom, got it. Let's go. We're gonna keep going.
Bill Flames, I'm with Mike on the mic. What's something brand new, one time for your mind? He gave you fair warning. Now it's time to smack him in the mouth with that raw sports talk from the town. Sweet chin music to your favorite sportscaster.